welcome to Tome of Uselessness. I'm Devon.
I'm Dan.
And today we are in isolation because there's a global pandemic and the world's going to end.
It's COVID-19 fun times.
Yeah, if you're joining us in these end days, hello. This is going to be a shorter episode. Because we have an abundance of time, we thought we should record more. And I thought that it was very, very important and relevant and timely that I tell Dan all about Charlie's Angels 2 Full Throttle.
It's very important. Can I ask why you decided to talk about this one and not Charlie's Angels 2000?
Because I feel like Full Throttle is not a stronger movie, but I enjoy it more.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's like my favorite out of the two.
Nice.
Yeah. And I don't know if it's because it's so stupid that I just like it, or if it's because Demi Moore's in it. It might be because Demi Moore's in it. She's so cool in this movie, too.
Yeah, she's really good in it.
She's such a babe.
Well, yeah, they do that classic her coming out of the water shot or whatever, right, when she's surfing.
Yeah. So you've seen it.
Yeah, I've seen it at least once in theater and maybe one other time, but I don't remember. Definitely once in theater.
It's possible that I made you watch it another time.
It's possible, but it's been many years since I've seen it for sure.
Okay, so I explain it to you. Some stuff will be remembered and some stuff won't.
Oh, probably.
Okay. So, I guess, this is a movie that came out in 2003, which is like a weird time for everything. Like those early noughties.
Well, it was definitely like post-Matrix and everyone was trying to do something cool.
Yeah, but also so I watched another movie this week, which isn't about, it's not even remotely related, except that it came out in the same decade. I watched Blades of Glory. Do you remember that movie?
Yeah, with Will Ferrell and other guy. Blades of Glory is great.
Oh my God, there's so many hilarious points in it. Yeah. But it's also pretty kind of homophobic.
Oh, I'm sure, yeah.
Rewatching it now. But I feel like a lot of movies in that time period was, because it was just kind of standard to make jokes about not being gay, but in a gay situation.
Yeah.
But Full Throttle doesn't really do that. It just holds up as a really stupid, silly movie. And I'm not sure how these two relate at all, but I also wanted to bring up with Blades of Glory that movie seriously does not get enough credit for their stylist.
Right.
Because every outfit in that movie is so on point and hilarious. I can't remember the name of the actor, but he's Napoleon Dynamite.
Yeah, no, I couldn't remember it either.
He's constantly just in these hilariously perfect outfits the entire film, and then Will Arnett and the blonde lady from Parks and Rec.
I know, I'm blanking on her name as well, but yes. Lindsay Nope, but that's not her name.
Yeah, they're incredible too. I don't know. Anyways, but back to Full Throttle. That has nothing to do with anything. I'm slightly going crazy from being so isolated all the time.
Excellent.
Okay, so let's get down to business.
Mm-hmm.
2000.
Our cast is back. The cast is back, right?
Yes. 2003. This one is directed by Mick G, so you know it's good.
Super stylish.
Yeah. It stars Cameron Diaz as Natalie Cook, Drew Barrymore as Dylan Saunders, a.k.a. Helen Zass, Lucy Liu as Alex Monday, Bernie Mac as Bosley, and Demi Moore as Madison Lee. And we also have Justin Theroux as Seamus O'Grady.
Nice.
So here is the plot. There isn't one. No.
I was going to say, before you go on, Demi Moore's character, Madison Lee, I know she's posited as a previous Angel, but is that the name of an Angel from like the 70s show? Or is it just like she was an Angel?
So here's the thing. I love these two movies, but I don't know anything about the TV show.
That's fine. No worries. I was curious.
I do know that one of the Angels from the TV show makes an appearance at some point.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, which when we get to that, I'll tell you all about it.
Copy that. Sorry.
So, here's the story. It opens up in Mongolia, in a rough and tumble bar. And the three girls, ladies, women, angels, rescue this guy. They're wearing silly costumes because it's a Charlie's Angels movie. And there's a scene where they steal a helicopter off a moving truck that they drive off a bridge.
That sounds awesome.
It is awesome. It's like it's just like early 2000s really bad action movies like Triple X and stuff, but they know that they're not good, so it makes it better. Anyway, so they rescue this guy. This guy has a ring. There's 2 rings in existence. And what we eventually find out is when you put them together, it gives you a list of everyone who is in witness protection.
Right. Okay. Kind of like a knock list situation.
A what?
From the knock list from Mission Impossible 1. It was like you have all your spies and all of their real names, and then if you have the 2 together, yeah. But
it's witness protection.
Right.
Yeah.
But like the whole world's, or like the FBI's witness protection?
Unclear. I assume some like the United States.
Right.
Not the whole world.
Sure.
So, maybe it is. I don't know. Whatever. It doesn't matter.
Right. Or it's like Interpol or whatever. So it's like a bunch of police agencies.
Yeah, I think the plot is really secondary in this movie.
Sorry. I'm interrupting.
to scenes where the girls dress up.
Right.
Okay. They rescue him. I think he leaves his ring behind, though.
In Mongolia?
Yeah. I watched this morning, and I don't really remember. Anyways, then they have to go to a dirt bike competition.
Yeah, this has the pink cameo, right?
Yeah, pink cameo. It's her dirt bike competition. She's running it. At the competition, which they ride motorcycles, and it's very silly, they discover that the thin man, Crispin Glover, from the first movie is still alive.
Right.
And they get his pendant because he kind of attacks them. And 2, we find out that there was a target there that they rescue who's a 15-year-old boy played by Shia LaBeouf.
Nice.
Yeah. They also figure out that Dylan, Drew Barrymore's character, her real name is Helen Zass, and she is in the witness protection program because when she was a teenager, her boyfriend, Seamus O'Grady, she witnessed him kill a man. He goes up to it. It's really funny because she goes, we used to drive around and listen to metal together. But then they're listening to Bon Jovi in his car. And then they pull up at a what do you call it? Cafe. And there's this guy sitting outside in the cafe. So Seamus just pulls over the car, walks up and shoots him in the face, and then gets back in the car.
It's random.
It's a perfect crime.
No doubt, except for he had Drew Barrymore in the car with him.
Yeah. So he goes to prison because I guess she rats on him.
Sure.
And he's supposed to be in prison for life. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
They decide to they take Shia LaBeouf into custody, and he goes to live with Bosley. So if you remember in the first movie, Bosley was played by Bill Murray.
Yes.
And I guess Bill Murray didn't want to come back, so they got Bernie Mac instead. And then they played off that Bernie Mac and Bill Murray are brothers.
Yeah, he's like his half brother, or he's adopted or something.
He's adopted, yeah.
Right.
So then they decide to stash Shia LaBeouf at Bernie Mac's mom's house.
Nice.
Okay. What happens next? Oh, then they go to the nunnery.
Of course.
Because the pendant from the Thin Man was a nunnery necklace. Mm-hmm. Which Shia LaBeouf recognizes because he's from the same nunnery. Or no, orphanage
Okay.
run by...
Yeah, orphanage right, yeah.
So they go there, and I was wondering if it was like a reference to the flying nun or something, because everybody else is in black habits, but they're in like bright blue ones.
The angels, or?
Yeah, because they're in disguise.
Right.
They're in disguise as nuns at the orphanage, because they couldn't just go up and interview a nun.
Well, no.
So they have to go in disguise and pretend to be nuns, but they're wearing like bright blue nun habits, and all the other nuns are in black and white ones.
Well, there's different, sects and stuff like that, right? So sure, it makes sense.
They're satanic nuns.
Like the ones from Good Omens?
Yeah. So they go and they find out that the Thin Man was found in the woods, and they think he's from a circus. He doesn't talk. He still goes there for haircuts. And he sends them money and presents sometimes. And then he had just sent a present, which was a car, which belonged to someone. Anyways, and on the car there was poop, and they figure out that the poop means that there's a warehouse near the ocean that has the rings in it.
Right. So so they know someone has both the rings at this point?
Yeah, I don't remember why though.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I missed the scene where they go to the beach and they meet Demi Moore for the first time.
Oh, okay, so that's already happened.
Yeah, so at some point they go to the beach. That's also where they meet Hector from Westworld.
Ah.
Oh no, wait, what happened? Somebody died. They pretend to be CSI and they go to the murder scene. And it's really funny because Drew Barrymore and Lucy Liu are dressed up like really sexy coroners, I guess.
Right.
But Cameron Diaz is dressed up like very like trailer trash macho. I don't know. She's got like a mullet and like high-waisted jeans.
Nice. But she's an investigator or no in this scene?
She's pretending to be the CSI people.
Okay.
Yeah, they go there. They find surfer wax on the door, and then that leads them to the beach. And then at the beach, they meet Demi Moore, and they also find the Hector from Westworld, who they've decided killed the guy for some reason.
Sure. And
that's also where they learn that they have to go to the motocross thing.
Right, okay.
Anyways, back to where we are in the story.
Back to the warehouse.
They get to the warehouse. They figure out that it is Irish mob run warehouse. And they have to get the keys and papers so they can get in. So they see one of the guys go into a strip club, and then they pose as burlesque dancers in the strip club where they're the star of a very elaborate number, which I don't know how they learned that quickly.
Or why they're suddenly the star act.
Yeah. And they steal his keys and paper.
Okay, sure.
And then they get Bosley to pretend to be Irish, which if you're not familiar with Bernie Mac, he's a large black man.
Rest in peace.
So he died?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, shortly after the Oceans. Wasn't that long after that?
He was in the Oceans movies?
Yeah, he was in all three of them.
Oh, jeez. Oh, yeah, he was, wasn't he?
Yeah. Yeah, shortly after the third one, I think. A few years.
Well, that's kind of sad.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, he goes in and he pretends to be Irish by saying a bunch of Irish stereotypes, and then they let him in.
Nice.
And the Angels bust out of a, I don't know, like a statue of naked people, and they're also naked. Then they get dressed. And then the rings are not in a box. They're just loose with a bunch of other rings. And they're in an electrified cage that has a bunch of obviously expensive things, but
Sure.
just kind of like on display. They're not
And this
like
is all in this warehouse?
in the warehouse.
Nice.
So they figure out that because the rings are made of titanium and all the other rings are made of something else, if they pour a bottle of champagne over them, the magic rings will float. So that's how they find them. Yeah. I don't know if the science checks out on that, but
Should I Google that real quick?
does titanium witness rings float in champagne? You're Googling it?
Apparently that's listed as a Charlie's Angels Full Throttle goof. That titanium is denser than champagne.
Oh, bummer. I thought I learned science today.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So they're like, hey, we've won. We're the best. And then Seamus O'Grady, shows up with his band of hooligans. And they're all hot and shirtless, and some of them have chains. And they're like, give us the rings. And they say
it's
no.
time for kung fu fight.
Yeah, so they have a ridiculous wire fu fight that makes no sense. Physics in this movie have stopped existing. They're flying around. And so the Angels defeat the guys and escape, but Seamus follows them out. They don't defeat him, and then he lights some stuff on fire, and Dylan, Drew Barrymore's character, gets all scared. And she decides to leave the Angels and not tell them.
Wait,
and
she's breaking up the team?
Yeah, she brings a box of their stuff to the office with a letter that's like, I can't let you guys get hurt because of me. Wah.
Right.
I'm like, okay. Okay, like I get it, you love your friends and shit, but like they've fought way worse than one guy who like shot a dude.
Yeah,
right?
and I was about to say, isn't that part of their job to like be risk takers with each other?
Yeah. Like, what the fuck? It's not like he's a really, really bad dude.
But she's feeling bad because her past is haunting her, right? Classic.
Yeah. So around that same time, we get a B plot with Lucy Liu, which, if you remember, Joey from Friends was her boyfriend in the first one. And he is still kind of her boyfriend, but they're taking a break.
And also, he doesn't know that she's a super spy.
No, he knows now.
Oh, he knows now. Okay, sorry. Maybe that was from the first movie.
That was the first movie, yeah.
Okay.
So her dad, which is played by John Cleese, shows up.
Right.
And he thinks she's a neurosurgeon. And so they get into hilarity where Joey from Friends is trying to explain her job, and John Cleese obviously thinks that she's a sex worker.
Right. I remember this.
And then when she comes in, he's actually really supportive. He's kind of like, well, if it makes you happy. And she's like, oh, it does. Thanks, Dad. I'm so glad you're understanding. He's like, oh, well. So that's her side storyline. Cameron Diaz's side storyline is, if you recall from the first movie, she hooked up with Luke Wilson, whose character's name is Pete. He has no last name.
Right. And he was just like a delivery guy or whatever, right?
No, he was the bartender at Tim Curry's party.
Oh.
Yeah, and she was pretending to be a waitress, and then they or a server. They got together.
Right.
But anyways, so they move in together at the beginning of the movie, and then they go to his high school reunion, and it's hinted at that he's going to ask her to marry him. So that's her B plot. Which also kind of goes into the Drew Barrymore leaving the group, because she's worried that both the other angels are going to leave, and then she's going to have to just be there forever and never move on, I guess.
Right, because all she has is the job.
Yeah.
Right.
I wish they brought back Tom Green, though, because that was an excellent addition to the first one.
Well, weren't they, like, kind of on the outs in real life at that point?
Yeah, they were getting divorced at that point.
Right.
Okay, so where were we? Okay, so then we get this most excellent scene where, okay, first, the dude that they rescued at the beginning, they give the rings to him, and they realize that something's not right, because at the beginning he had broken ribs, and now his ribs are fine.
Well, ribs heal.
But he wasn't in disguise or anything. I don't know why that tipped them off. Doesn't matter, because the plot in this movie doesn't matter. But they follow him. So then, I don't know how they got this ready so quick, but Lucy Liu has like a street luge, right? Is that what it's called in the Olympics when you're the skeleton luge? Is that it?
Like on ice or on like?
You know, like when you in the Winter Olympics, when they're lying down on that little skateboard.
Yeah, well, it's not a skateboard, yeah, but it's a plank with like blades, and when they're on their stomach, that's the skeleton.
Okay, but on their back, it's just luge?
Yeah.
Or bobsled? No, luge.
Bobsled's the bigger one, and yeah, luge is the smaller one.
Okay, well, she has one for the street.
Yeah, no, well, street luge is a real thing. I mean, that's been going around for a long time.
Oh, really? Anyways, she chases his car in that.
Yeah.
And then they're able to trace the calls, and then they get the hint of where they're gonna sell these rings.
So the guy is bad guy.
The bad guy, yeah. They figure out he's a bad guy because his broken ribs aren't broken anymore.
Gave it away.
And he's gonna meet the other bad guy at the conservatory.
Nice.
So
in
that's
Mongolia or
no, in Hollywood.
Oh, okay. Like the Griffith Observatory where every movie takes place?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, where Sarah Lynn died.
Yeah. No.
So while that's going on, Drew Barrymore goes to Mexico. And she ends up at a little bar where she hallucinates one of the Charlie's Angels of yesteryear, telling her that she's special because Charlie chose her.
Nice, I guess.
And she just decides to go back to the Angels.
It's like a Lion King moment. I need a magical visitation.
Yeah, Yeah, it would like make sense though if she had left the Angels because like she felt like
Yeah, like she
was
screwed up or whatever.
yeah, or she wasn't as good as them.
Yeah, like I
But
lost a step and I made a mistake. It's time for me to leave.
yeah, it was like sometimes there's two different movies going on,
Mm.
but you never know which one you're in.
Well, and also it almost would have made sense too, instead of a weird visitation, if she actually like met the former Angel in person.
Yeah, because
like, no, you're good.
yeah, it's kind of like they're having a conversation, and then like she looks away and looks back, and then the other angel's not there.
Right.
So then at the conservatory, the two angels watch the dude from the beginning get shot, but they don't know who did it. And then the big domey thing spins around, and Demi Moore is standing there looking amazing with two gold guns.
Ta-ta.
And she's like, you guys are dumb. I'm dumb.
Sorry.
She's like, what is her line? It's so stupid. Why would I be an angel when I could play God? So dumb.
Gotta play with the themes, the wordplay.
Yeah.
There was probably like 50 versions of that line, and that was somehow the best one.
Maybe. I just feel like this movie could have been tied together a little bit better, but if it was, it would lose some of its magic, maybe.
Right. Or, yeah, they could have gone with a classic, like, why be an angel when I can rule in hell, or something like that. Classic.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, not spoilers, to jump ahead, when she dies, Cameron Diaz is like, go to hell! And then she falls in a fiery pit.
Excellent. Well, there you go. Working it. So Demi Moore has the rings now.
Yeah, and she is being intimidating, and then Drew Barrymore sneaks up behind her and tries to do like a flying roundhouse spin kick. But Demi Moore, because she's a badass, she grabs her foot midair.
Nice.
And she throws her by her foot. And it looks so dumb. Because she like throws her, and then like mid-arc, she like flips around a bunch.
Nice.
Yeah, it was a very precise throw to do that.
Yeah.
Then Demi Moore shoots all three of them in the chest.
Oh, I was about to say, so game over. Demi Moore wins.
And they die.
Yeah, barely.
This is the best part to turn off the TV. No. And then Demi Moore goes to the office, and she has a conversation with Charlie, and Charlie is like, you never were a team player, Madison. And she's like, fuck you. I almost died doing a mission, and you're just going to replace them like you replaced me. And he's like, no, we're family. And then she shoots No. Then he's like, okay, so we get another great line. Because Charlie's like, there's still good in you. And she's like, what you don't understand is I was never good. I was great. And then she shoots the phone box.
I mean, she could be right.
So then the angels wake up and they reveal that they were wearing their Kevlar corsets.
Well, yeah.
Underneath their clothes. And then they go to get in their car, and their car explodes right before they get in.
Poor timing.
Yeah. And then they figure out what's going on. So Demi Moore has summoned all of the best crime guys to come buy the rings. And she's put them through an elaborate scavenger hunt to get it.
Like the bad guys have to go through a scavenger hunt?
Yeah.
Okay.
So they gotta go get like a map, and then they gotta go drop the cash off somewhere else, and then that leads them to another location, and that leads them to another location. And then we get all the crime bosses. So we have like the Yakuza, the mobs,
Triad.
Italian.
Probably a triad guy in there too.
Yeah, so and their whole team, you know?
Yeah.
And they all end up on the roof of a hotel. The FBI come out instead of Demi Moore.
Oh.
And they
Twist.
arrest all of them. Yeah. And I just want to mention that while we're watching this montage of all the crime guys going on a scavenger hunt, it's intercut with Demi Moore wearing like lingerie and a fur coat with one of those gold finger armors with her gold gun, just walking back and forth in front of a fireplace.
For like no reason?
And then she's watching them on a computer, and then when they give the money to her minion, she goes, Yahtzee!
What?
Yeah, it's the best movie ever. So then Demi Moore got dressed, and then
Sure.
we don't see that, but in the next scene she's dressed, and she goes up onto the roof, but it's not the roof of the same building, it's a roof of a different building, where she's watching them with the telescope, and she has both rings and the money.
And then all her rivals basically get arrested.
Yeah, except the angels figure out where she is somehow, and they go up on the roof to like challenge her. But then also the Irish mob had figured out what was going on, and they end up on the roof too. So now we have the Charlie's Angels, Demi Moore, and the Irish gang on a roof.
Dang.
And they all start fighting. And at the same time, Joey from Friends' character is an actor in this movie, which is a huge stretch.
I was about to say, that's a leap, okay.
And he's in an action movie sequel that's premiering just down below the hotel.
Oh, okay.
It's important. And then Bernie Mac and Shia LaBeouf and Bernie Mac's mom and Luke Wilson are also at the premiere. I don't know why.
I was about to say, they got an invite, sure.
And John Cleese.
Nice.
They're all hanging out down there. We have a big fight. The Crispin Glover shows up randomly to fight with the Angels, like not against them, because he's in love with Drew Barrymore, and they kiss, and then he gets stabbed with a sword by Seamus McGrady, and then he gets thrown off the building.
Nice.
So it was really, really important for Crispin Glover to be in this movie.
Right, because, well, obviously, like, in the first one, he was a bad guy, and in this one, he's just kind of like, he was a part of, like, a clue thread, and then that was it?
I think the way that they write these movies is they're like, it'd be really cool if we could see them in a nun outfit.
Well, sure, it'd be pretty cool if it's always a great way to make a movie, but...
Yeah, that's why they're always in disguises, right? Like, hey, wouldn't they look cute in like motocross outfits? We should write a scene where they go to motocross. I think this movie is written around their outfits.
Well, sure, but I just, like, Crispin Glover, and I think I recall, like, yeah, like you said, he's not really in the movie for any reason.
Yeah, no, there's no reason.
Okay.
There's no well, he kisses Drew Barrymore. Maybe she really wanted to make out with Crispin Glover because she's like a producer.
Yeah, but I think Drew Barrymore could do better than that.
What? You think she could do better than Marty McFly's dad?
I'm just saying.
Okay, so he's dead.
Yeah.
Then Seamus McGrady falls off the building and he dies.
Oh.
Then Demi Moore says she's gonna explode the premiere, and then she jumps off the building in this weird like flying squirrel cape.
Nice. I like it.
and hang glides down into a convertible, like you do.
Nice.
And then the Angels use like a Christmas light string to zip line down to the convertible as well.
Like the same car?
Yeah. And then they have a fight scene in the car, and then the car flips. Demi Moore and Cameron Diaz end up fighting on a stage of like an opera house or something. I don't know why. I don't know why. I don't know how they got there. I don't know what's going on.
And you just watched this movie.
I know. I've seen it so many times, Dan.
But like you said, it doesn't matter. The fight is what matters.
Plot is secondary to the outfits.
The fighting is what matters.
No. It's the outfits, and then the fighting, and then the one-liners, and then the plot.
Sure. So they're in cool outfits while this is happening, right?
Obviously.
Okay.
Well, not really, actually. Not at this point. I think Drew Barrymore is wearing like a pair of business casual, like wide leg pants with a ill-fitting blouse. Demi Moore looks great though. She's all in black. She's got like a black button-up with black pants. Sure. And her hair's like long and straight. It looks so good. Anyway, so they fight. Then the other two join, and the three of them fight her together. And their finishing move is that Cameron Diaz throws Drew Barrymore and Lucy Liu at Demi Moore at the same time.
Wow, I didn't know Cameron Diaz was that strong.
Yeah, she kind of squats a bit, and then she lifts them up and launches them like feet first at her.
Okay. I see it.
And then that makes her fall down a hole. I don't remember if the hole was there to begin with, but there's a hole now. Sure. And she falls through the hole, and then it bumps a pipe, and then she shoots them, and I guess the pipe was filled with something combustible because then she explodes.
Yes.
And then the Angels change clothes into formal wear and go back to the premiere for the end of the movie.
Oh, so there was no like bomb setup or anything for the premiere that like we have to stop it.
Oh wait, sorry, yeah, there was like a bomb that was flying down towards the premiere, but Bernie Mac picked up one of the there's like velvet ropes, and then there's like the stands that the rope attaches to. Yeah. He picks up one of those and he uses it to hit the bomb like a baseball. What? And then it flies straight up into the sky and explodes. In the sky, like a firework.
Like a firework, yeah, like a classic movie scene.
Yeah, that happened when they were doing like the car scene.
Right. Okay. Yeah, because I would say that was obviously some kind of threat. And then what about the rings?
They just pick them up off the floor.
Oh, okay.
And then they go
all tied up.
Yeah, they go to the premiere, and Lucy Liu and Joey from Friends get back together. Oh. And Cameron Diaz and Luke Wilson have a moment where you think he's going to propose, but then in the ring box, it's actually just like a dog tag because he got him a dog.
All right.
And then Drew Barrymore is happy. And in the credits.
And in the credits.
Yeah, so that's Charlie's Angels Full Throttle. Oh, it's so good.
It definitely sounds quite ridiculous.
It's so ridiculous. There's a few things I wanted to point out. Sure. First, Owen Wilson has a cameo in it.
Oh, really?
When they go to the murder scene when they're pretending to be CSI.
Right.
He's a cop that's already there that gives them a hard time.
Excellent.
Also, Melissa McCarthy has like one line in it, which is interesting because she was also in the first one. If you remember from the first one, when they break into the facility to get the like computer chip that has the information that lets people triangulate phone numbers to find locations.
Yeah.
And Lucy Liu dresses up as like an efficiency manager, but she's also dressed up as a like a dominatrix.
Yes.
Melissa McCarthy is the manager that's working there.
Ah.
Yeah. Yeah. And then also I wanted to point out at the beginning, they open it with like, oh, there's 3 different girls from 3 different backgrounds, and it kind of gives you like a backstory of each.
Yeah. The first one started with that as well, right?
Yeah, the second one starts the same way, but then it also gives you a montage of them working together, and I'm pretty sure that the montage is just made up of cutscenes from the first movie.
Oh, well, that's fine. That's kind of like, that makes perfect sense.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, and during the credits, all 3 of them wash a car. That's important, too. They wash the car in short shorts and, like, tank tops and stuff.
Of course. Because McGee made it.
McGee made it. I kind of love him. Yeah, so do you have any questions about this excellent film?
I kind of did, in that, do you know why there was never a sequel? I couldn't really find an answer.
Well, it is the sequel.
No, sorry, a third one then.
Yeah, I don't know. I wish there was. I would have watched it. I could only see it getting better.
Well, yeah, it was interesting because apparently in 2004 they were like, okay, let's do 2 more of them, and then it was like, oh, okay, no, we're not, and then there was just never any kind of word about. Are you
saying that we've been robbed of 2 more of these excellent films?
Yeah, it could have possibly happened. The only reason I could think that maybe they decided not to was like the first one. I was just looking at some budget stuff. The first one was made on $93 million and did $264 worldwide.
Oh, that's not bad.
So it is respectable. But then the second one, they had a $120 million budget, and then it only did $259 worldwide.
Oh, so maybe
they were like, yeah, maybe they were just like, yeah, it's not as much ROI, so they decided not to. Because then I think, because at the time, of course, Cameron Diaz, well, all 3 were pretty big, but maybe they were getting bigger, so they would have wanted more money for more. Yeah,
that's fair.
Yeah.
If they decided to like reboot it and make a 3rd movie with them now, I would completely and totally love it and watch it.
I wonder if that was an option, or like, because with the Elizabeth Bank one, that they thought about having some of them in there or something. I don't know.
That one looks like trash.
It did not do well. It's interesting because it was made for $48 million.
I feel like the thing about that one is they took themselves a bit too seriously.
Right. Whereas the other one was, or these earlier ones were, yeah, but that's kind of, in the genre or the mode these days. Everything's got to be serious.
Yeah, I know.
You can't have a campy, fun Charlie's Angels.
I like camp.
Yeah.
I just do. I think it's fun.
Well, and like you said, these movies, because I remember enjoying the first one especially, I think, a little more than the second one.
Yeah, that's because the first one is like unquestionably a better movie. I just enjoy the second one more because I really like Demi Moore.
Yeah, and I think she was like really the standout because she hadn't done anything, or had kind of almost stopped acting, and then she came back in this one, right?
Oh yeah, I forgot to mention Bruce Willis makes a cameo as well.
Really?
At the beginning, he has one of the rings and gets shot, and the ring gets taken.
Right.
I think he's supposed to be like the president or something, but I believe that they were still married at that time, but it was like the end of their marriage.
Right.
Because remember, then she hooked up with Ashton Kutcher.
Yes.
She reverse Uno'd Hollywood and was the older woman.
Right.
Which is awesome.
I was just thinking, I can't really, I think you've done quite a lot to answer and explain the movie.
Because it's so good. The only thing that could have made this movie better is, what's the actor's name for Moon again?
Sam Rockwell.
Sam Rockwell was in the first one.
Yeah, he was the bad guy, right?
Yeah, he was really sexy in it, and he exploded in a helicopter. But if he hadn't, and he was in the second one, that's the only thing that could have made me more happy about it.
Right. Yeah, because that's almost the same kind of plot as, like you're saying, with that O'Grady guy, because Sam Rockwell was like an old flame of Drew Barrymore's in the first one, wasn't she?
No, so Sam Rockwell, in the first one, Tim Curry and Sam Rockwell have rival communication businesses that are worth lots of money.
Sure.
And Sam Rockwell
just goes evil.
No, he poses that he gets kidnapped and frames Tim Curry for doing it. And in the process of rescuing him, Drew Barrymore ends up sleeping with him.
Right.
And falls for him. And then it turns out that he's actually bad, and it's an elaborate plot to find out where Charlie is, because his dad died in the army in Charlie's platoon or whatever.
Yeah, I remember the plot being, like you said, they were trying to triangulate where someone was so they could find Charlie and shoot missiles at him or something.
Yeah, he wanted to shoot him dead. Yeah. Yeah, so it was an elaborate plot to find Charlie to avenge his father's death.
Yes.
And he slept with Drew Barrymore in the process, but they weren't old flames. They had only met.
Sorry.
Yeah. Get it right, Dan.
That's why I asked. So it's not like this other guy who she witnessed protection against. Or
no, they were
testified against.
Yeah, they were high school sweethearts, I guess.
Yeah.
And then she ended up in the witness protection plan, which was great, because then she could be a spy or whatever, an angel.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I recommend watching both of them if you have the time, which everyone does now if you're staying home.
You've clearly recommended them many times. I was also going to say, I love in movies like this and spy movies, like I was saying with the knock list thing, that it's like these big international database. It's in a ring. It's not like in a flash drive.
Well, it's in 2 rings.
Well, sorry, but you know what I mean. It's in 2 rings. Like, how do you connect that to a computer? Like wirelessly or like Bluetooth?
This is a good question. They just kind of screw them together, and then you get lots of shots of the rings not screwed together in someone's hand, and then them screwed together on a finger.
Yeah.
Listen, it looked really cool, and then you got to see the scene where they pour champagne in a box of rings.
Sure. Yeah. I'm not denying the awesomeness of the ring database. I'm just thinking it's funny in all these movies that they do that kind of thing. I'm not blaming just Charlie's Angels for that.
No, it's very impractical, but you have to, when you come across something in Charlie's Angels that doesn't make sense, which is most of the movie, you have to come across it from the angle of somebody thought this would be a really cool scene, and then they wrote the movie around many ideas that they thought would look neat.
Wouldn't it be cool if? Yeah.
Yeah. Which I think is a great way to, if you're not trying to write something, if you're not trying to, get an Oscar or whatever, it's kind of fun to write, to watch a movie that's just a bunch of cool scenes.
Sure. I mean, tons of action movies are that, right?
I guess, to a certain degree, John Wick movies are kind of like that, but it just takes itself more seriously.
Sure, or they're just executed in a more coherent fashion.
Yeah. Charlie's Angels, they're don't sweat the small stuff.
Yeah.
And everything is small stuff.
Well, I think we should probably wrap it up.
Yeah, sounds good.
Well, if you'd like to hear more, you can check us out at tomeofuselessness.com or on social media at Tome of Uselessness. We also have an email you can contact us, or tomeofuseless@gmail.com. Thanks for listening.
Bye.